What's up guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Emma if you're new here, and I'd love to talk about all things Peloton cycling and fitness, so be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. I post every single Sunday. It is 6:40 a.m. right now on a Thursday. I just woke up around 20 minutes ago. I'm currently in Los Angeles visiting my boyfriend, and a couple of days ago I got an ad on Facebook for Barry's Bootcamp ride, which I was very intrigued. So for those of you who don't know, Barry's Bootcamp is a boutique fitness class. It's kind of like Orange Theory or Soul Cycle. The workouts aren't the same, but it's a kind of a similar vibe. And they typically have a red room where you do a HIIT workout, and you usually start on the floor or treadmill and then you alternate. So you'll do like 10 minutes on the treadmill, 10 minutes on the floor, and then go back on the treadmill, go back on the floor. It depends on the class, but you alternate like 2 to 3 times floor, treadmill, floor, treadmill. Before the pandemic hit, I used to do these classes in San Francisco, not super frequently because they are kind of expensive, but every once in a while, just for fun. I always really liked them. I always thought they were really hard. They're also super good workouts. So when I saw that they was going to be cycling instead of treadmill, I was even more intrigued. So obviously that ad got me, and then my boyfriend Chris and I signed up for a class today at 7:45 a.m. because I have work afterwards, so gotta get back in time. And it is at the Beverly Center, which is in Beverly Hills. So we have to drive there, and it takes like 30 minutes to drive there. This class is also in a parking garage so that it's COVID compliant. It actually looks very safe. I'll let you know when I get there what I feel like, but it doesn't look like you're gonna share a floor mat or bike with anybody. Usually in the studio, you'd be alternating with someone. So when you're not on the treadmill, they're on the same treadmill, but this seems like the bike and the floor mat are yours and that they are very spaced apart. And obviously everybody still has to wear masks. So I'm very excited to see how it is. I think that working out with a mask on will definitely be very hard, and these workouts are usually typically very hard. Our class today is based around ass and abs, so I know the strength is gonna kill me. I know there's gonna be so many squats, but I chose this class. I thought that that is what I need to work on the most, so I'm excited to see how that goes. And I'm also really excited to see what the cycling is like. Is it going to be like a Peloton class? Is it going to be a climb? Is it going to be a sprint? I guess we'll find out, and I'll report back to you. Two quick housekeeping things. I'm sorry if the lighting is bad in the video at the beginning. The sun is not out right now, so it is very hard to get good lighting. And then I'm also sorry that my hair is very greasy. I'm doing the keratin treatment in it. Chris just put it in my hair like 2 days ago, so you can't wash your hair for 3 days. And my hair gets super greasy after like the first day. So it has been a struggle, but today is the last day, so I'm excited for that. So I'm pretty much ready to go now. I'm going to eat a banana before this just because I feel like I should have a little bit of food in the stomach for such an intense workout. And then of course I'm going to drink a Celsius. So let's just get right on into that. Oh no. Please don't roast me about how I peeled that banana. It's early. I'm very excited for this workout class. I haven't been to a workout class since before the pandemic hit. It has been quite a while, so today will definitely be a treat. Thought I was filming, but I was not, sadly. Tried my Celsius, but I'll give you my thoughts. So I wasn't gonna get Celsius while I was in Los Angeles because I don't drink Celsius a ton. I usually only do it for milestones because there's just such a ridiculous amount of caffeine in here. But Chris and I were at the grocery store, and I saw that they came out with a limited edition peach vibe sparkling white peach flavor, and you know, I just can't not try it. Gotta get it to try it. So I was very excited for this. I really love peaches, and it tastes just like peach rings, so I'm not disappointed at all. I think this is my favorite flavor now, which I say that about like every flavor I try, so don't take a ton of weight in that, but this is quite good if you like peach rings. I don't get how it's so sweet, but I guess it's just all artificial flavoring. but it's crazy how sweet it is. So I'm going to drink this probably on the way there, and then when I get there, I hope I can film a little bit and show you guys the setup. I'm excited to see what this parking garage is like. They have various boot camps outdoor in San Francisco, but there's not any like biking or treadmills because you need power. So that's why they're having it in a parking garage. But San Francisco basically doesn't have parking garages because it's so expensive to have anything in San Francisco. So they just do it outdoors without treadmill or a bike, which I feel like kind of degrades the value of the class because that's like the whole point of Barry's Bootcamp is to do really intense cardio and then do really intense strength workout. So I'm excited that they could actually execute it here while still remaining safe and within COVID guidelines. And I'm excited to see what it is like and really get a good workout in. We just got home. We had to eat out of that parking lot pretty quickly because it was pay per hour. So we were just about to hit the 1 hour mark, but we got out in time. So I'm just going to review the class at home. So first off, we got there probably like 2 minutes after the class started because we had issues with parking and finding the place. Barry's Bootcamp themselves did not send us any instructions. So I thought that it would be very clearly marked once we got to this parking garage, but this parking garage was actually humongous. So then I found the information on the Beverly Center website that then kind of got us to where we needed to be. So basically we missed any introduction, so it wasn't exactly clear what was happening, but you got headphones that you got to wear the whole time so that they weren't just blaring music in this parking lot because people were using this parking lot for other stuff too. Like it was ginormous. And we started on the floor. We got a medium weight, a heavy weight, and one of those like resistant bands that go around that are like a rubber band basically. I think they're called booty bands. I don't know if there's a more official name for them, but we just did a bunch of butt and core exercises. It was really hard. There was not a lot of break. I really liked the instructor during this. We were in the front, but she did come over and like help us with our form, which I always appreciate because I feel like form is kind of the biggest thing, especially with Peloton, that you're missing, is that if you're doing something wrong, it's up to you to figure that out because the instructor is never going to be able to see you to correct you. But in this case, she could correct your form and you could really work on the exercises. There was not a lot of rest, so the exercises were definitely hard. So we actually did the whole strength section first, which I was not a huge fan of, but the reason for that is because the cycling section was actually with looked out the cleats, so you had to clip in exactly like the Peloton. So obviously they don't want to like switch back and forth because you had to switch out of your sneakers and go into your cycling shoes. They did have cycling shoes that they provided there, but luckily we brought ours because I was like, I'm not sure. Again, they didn't give any information before we got there, but I was like, let's bring our cycling shoes just in case, because if we can use our own, I would prefer that. But I've gone to other cycling classes where I've used the shoes that they've provided and like it's not a big deal. But fortunately we had our own. So we got to use those, we clipped in. The bike itself was fine. I wish that there was kind of more time in between the strength and the cycling class because they were like, oh, adjust your bike, but there essentially wasn't enough time to adjust it, so I kind of just went with the way that it was, but I wish my handlebars were higher the entire time. I didn't like that there wasn't really good resistance numbers. There were gears that were super wide range. I think it only went up to like gear 10, and she would just tell us to reset the resistance completely, and then she would be like, oh, turn the knob a full rotation like 6 times, and I feel like that's just not a good way to measure resistance, but she was kind of working with what she had. There was one thing I liked, that there were basically 3 gears that you could rotate into. So you started all the way to the left and then you could like rotate the resistance knob, and then you could shift it to the center, which would add more resistance, and shift it to the right, which would add a ton more resistance. So if it was all the way to the right, it would be very, very hard. You could still adjust it with the knob, but I like this because if she was just like, oh, up your resistance, I feel like I would not up it as much as the dramatic shifts into the 3 gears. So I feel like that really helped me push myself, and I just kind of like that kind of element. That's just something that doesn't exist on the Peloton, obviously, so I like that it was a little bit different. The screen had a bunch of numbers on it, and it was kind of hard to follow, but basically the only thing you had to worry about was cadence. We did a lot of out of the saddle work and a lot of fast cadence out of the saddle. saddle. For Peloton, you don't typically go over like 120 RPM, so rotations per minute, but here you were going 130 to 140 and out of the saddle. So it was just ridiculously fast and hard. She also did a lot of work where you would do like 8 counts in the saddle, 8 counts out of the saddle, 8 counts in the saddle, and do very rapid changes between in and out of the saddle, which also made it very hard. And we also did some front to back, which we do that in the groove rides in Peloton. So I had done that before, where you kind of like shift yourself up and then shift your butt over the saddle more while you're still staying out of the saddle the entire time. So I think that really works your core. So overall, I really liked the cycling part, and it was pretty different from Peloton, so I appreciated that. I didn't want to just do a Peloton class because I can do a Peloton class at home, so I like that this was kind of different. I will say she wasn't very talkative about her life. She was more of like, go, 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 like push yourself, go your hardest, but I feel like that's pretty on brand for Barry's Bootcamp. They're not here to get to know you like Peloton. They're here to like push you to your limit. I also had my Apple Watch on and my heart rate got up to 185 beats per minute, which is pretty much my max. That almost never happens on Peloton. Usually I will not go over like 170 beats per minute on Peloton, even when I'm pushing myself super hard. So I can just attest like how hard the class was. There was also very, very little recovery, but it was also way shorter than a Peloton class, so you don't necessarily need that recovery. So it was a 50-minute class, and we did pretty much 25 minutes of strength and then 25 minutes of cycling. And then at the end of the class, we did a little bit of stretching, but pretty much everybody got out of there pretty quickly. I think it's because it was a 7:45 class, so it ended at 8:35. So if you had a job that you needed to start at 9, like you needed to get out pretty quickly because everybody just left. And Chris and I were the last ones to leave, and we left like 2 minutes after the class ended. So people were ready to leave at the end. And then Chris and I had brought liquid IV with us because we knew that we were going to be like super sweaty at the end. So then we drank that on the way home, and it was very nice and refreshing. I sweat a lot. They gave us a towel, which was nice, but with the mask especially, I was just very sweaty, and like the sweat was just pushed up on my face because my mask just absorbed the sweat. So it wasn't that bad using a mask, and it was actually really nice to be in the parking garage in the morning. I think it was around 60 degrees outside in LA, so we got like a nice breeze going, and I actually found that the outside parking garage vibes were really good because you got that breeze. Like I feel like I've done Barry's Bootcamp in the Red Room in their actual studio, and it is very hot and muggy in there because everybody's really putting out some sweat. So I liked the outdoor vibes. Overall, I don't know if I would take that class again. I feel like I like the treadmill for Barry's Bootcamp a little bit more than the cycling, and I feel like I can just already get such great cycling content on the Peloton that it's hard to justify the Barry's Bootcamp, but it was fun to take. It was fun to try out. I feel like it was good to get back into a workout class. It's been a very long time, and overall, it was just a nice addition to my Thursday morning, and now I'm ready to go for the rest of the day. So that's it for this video. Let me know if you guys have tried any outdoor classes, if you think that these companies are adjusting well to COVID. I think that this was a pretty good substitute for the Barry's in studio experience. So I'd recommend checking it out if you feel like you're missing that in your life. I hope you guys are staying safe, having an awesome week, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!